All right, imagine this. You're gearing up for your next flight. You've packed your carry-on, checked your essentials, and you're feeling like a travel pro. No oversized liquids, no sharp objects, and definitely no fireworks, right? But hold up. What if I told you that some totally normal items could get you stopped at security? Yep, seriously. Some things you'd never expect are actually banned, and the list is more bizarre than you might think. Before we dive into that, there's something even more important to know. 2025 is bringing some major changes to carry-on rules, and if you're not aware of them, your next flight could turn into a huge headache. So, let's break down what's changing, what's staying the same, and how these new rules might even cost you extra cash at the airport. Trust me, you'll want to stick around because the list of weirdly banned items, some of them are absolutely crazy. Power bank restrictions, fire risk. Let's start with power banks. They're in almost everyone's bag these days to keep our phones charged for long flights, right? But did you know that not all power banks are allowed on planes? No kidding. Some could actually get you kicked off the flight. In 2019, a Qantas flight from Sydney to Perth had to turn back after a power bank on board started smoking and eventually caught fire. This led to a huge delay as the plane was forced to return to the airport. The passenger who owned the power bank didn't just cause a fire risk, they also caused a serious inconvenience to everyone on the flight. Here's what you need to know. Anything over 160 watt-hours, about 32,000 milliamp-hour, is strictly banned. Don't even think about sneaking it on. Power banks between 100 watt-hours and 160 watt-hour, around 20,000 milliamp-hours to 32,000 milliamp-hours, are allowed, but only in your carry-on. You can carry up to 2 of them. Some airlines might ask for approval before you board. And here's the big one. Never pack power banks in checked luggage. If it overheats in the cargo hold, there's no one to stop it. I was on a flight to California last year when a guy near me had to turn back and check his power bank in because it exceeded the allowed limit. He was already running late, and it caused a major delay for him. So, check your power bank before you fly. No one wants to be that guy. Smart luggage ban. Battery issues. Next up, smart luggage. You know, the kind with built-in charging ports and GPS tracking? Sounds amazing, right? In recent years, some models have become even more advanced, like rideable suitcases that turn into electric scooters or ones that follow their owners automatically. Just thinking about it makes me want to try one. But here's the catch. Most high-tech suitcases come with built-in batteries, and that's where the problem starts. In 2025, many airlines are banning smart luggage if the battery can't be removed. That's right. If your suitcase has a non-removable battery, you might be stuck at the check-in counter. Back in 2021, at Los Angeles International Airport, a passenger had their $500 smart suitcase rejected at the gate simply because the battery couldn't be removed. They had to leave it behind and buy a new bag at the airport. To make things worse, the passenger joked, "Well, guess I'm not as smart as my luggage." So, before heading to the airport, double-check your luggage. If the battery can't be removed, you'll have to leave it behind. And trust me, buying a new suitcase at the airport is not ideal. Changes to liquids regulations, UK and EU update. Alright, now let's talk about liquids. We all know the drill, 100 milliliters per container, and all of it has to fit in a clear, resealable bag. But hold on, did you know that some UK airports are testing new rules that could let you bring larger containers? Some airports have dropped the old 3-1 rule, but here's the catch. Not every UK airport is on board yet. Airports like London City and Aberdeen have reinstated the 100 milliliter rule due to security concerns. So don't just assume it's smooth sailing. I once watched a passenger at Heathrow have to throw away a 1.5-liter water bottle, even though she'd just bought it in the same airport. She stood there, laughing awkwardly and saying, "Why am I the only one unlucky enough to get caught by this rule?" But this is a perfect example of how strict these liquid rules are. As for the EU, they tried to ditch the 311 rule in 2024 with new scanners that could detect banned liquids more accurately. Spoiler alert, the scanners didn't pass the test, so the 100 milliliter rule is still in place. Here's the bottom line. Stick to 100 milliliter if you don't want to be the next person throwing away their favorite lotion at the security checkpoint. Better safe than sorry. Budget airlines and new carry-on fees. Flying with budget airlines like EasyJet, Ryanair, or Wizz Air? Well, there's a new rule you definitely need to watch out for. These budget airlines have shrunk the size of their free carry-on bags, which means if your bag doesn't fit their new size limits, you'll have to pay extra. Yep, that's right. Downsize your bag or pay up. Simple as that. But hold on, this isn't just a minor inconvenience. Some airlines have even gotten strict about how much you can fit in your free carry-on, and they will charge you for the smallest mistake. Let me give you a real-life example. Just a couple of months ago, I was at the gate for a flight to Paris. There was this guy, clearly in a rush, trying to squeeze his oversized carry-on into the airline's baggage sizer. He struggled for about 5 minutes, pulling, pushing, and trying every angle to get that bag in. The poor guy was sweating, looking around, clearly embarrassed. I could see the frustration building up. He was about to miss his flight just because his bag didn't fit. In the end, he was told his bag wasn't going to make it through the gate unless he paid an extra $50 to check it in. $50, that's money that could have gone towards souvenirs or that fancy croissant in the airport cafe. Instead, it went straight to the airline as a baggage fee. Now, think about this for a second. What's worse? Realizing at the gate that your bag's too big, or realizing you have to pay extra for a mistake that could have been easily avoided if you had checked the size limits before packing? Let's be honest here. Budget airlines aren't in the business of giving you freebies. Their goal is to maximize revenue, and that means charging you for everything that doesn't fit neatly into their rules. Air Canada's basic economy changes. Flying with Air Canada in 2025? If you've got a basic economy ticket, brace yourself. Things are about to get more complicated. Starting January 3rd, 2025, you're only allowed one personal item for free. That's a purse, backpack, or laptop bag. If you want to bring a carry-on suitcase, get ready to pay an extra $35. And if you need to bring additional bags, you'll be hit with $65 for each one. Now, you might think, okay, that's a minor fee, right? But let's break this down. If you're heading out on a business trip or family vacation, that could end up being a pretty significant cost. You could be looking at $35 for a small carry-on bag, plus an extra $65 for your checked luggage, and suddenly, that low-cost ticket doesn't seem like such a great deal, does it? If you're flying with Air Canada in 2025, make sure to check the size limits for your carry-on before you even start packing. A small bag that fits perfectly in one airline's overhead bin might be considered oversized by another. So plan ahead to avoid those surprise fees at the gate. Banned items you didn't expect. Now for the fun part, the items that could get you stopped at security. Some of these items are truly surprising. Sharp objects and tools. It is not just knives that are prohibited. Any item that can be used as a weapon is not allowed in your carry-on. This category includes kitchen knives, pocket knives, scissors, axes, hammers, and even oversized wrenches. Weapons, or toys that look like them, whether it is a real firearm or a toy that mimics one, if it appears to be capable of causing harm, it will be flagged. For example, one man brought a replica gun as a joke. He was pulled aside and advised that his action movie prop was better left at home. Even foam swords or toy knives, however harmless they seem, attract unwanted attention. One passenger even tried to argue that his toy lightsaber was simply for fun, but the TSA did not accept his explanation. He will have to enjoy his Jedi adventures at home. Flammable items and explosives. Items such as fireworks, gas canisters, certain cleaning chemicals, and even some aerosols are completely banned. Imagine a traveler who, excited about a recent win, decided to carry a mini fireworks display to celebrate. Instead of a festive in-flight surprise, his carry-on became the main attraction at the security checkpoint. There is a funny story about a man who believed that a small box of consumer-grade fireworks would add a spark to his flight. His bag ended up attracting all the attention at security, and his plans for an in-flight celebration went up in smoke, literally. Everyday surprises. It may sound absurd, but even everyday items can raise red flags. Consider packing a bag of flour for a baking trip, or some camping gear, such as tent stakes, you may find yourself subject to extra screening. I remember a case in which a woman insisted on carrying her lucky bag of flour to a family gathering. The bag set off the alarm because it looked suspiciously similar to a powder used for explosives. There is also the case of a mercury thermometer. These old-fashioned analog devices are often rejected in favor of digital versions. Such incidents remind us that when in doubt, it is best to review the list carefully and, if possible, leave the questionable items at home. How to stay informed and avoid last-minute surprises. After covering so many potential pitfalls, the next key step is making sure you never get caught off guard at the security checkpoint. The secret is to stay updated with the latest carry-on rules well before you even step into the airport. Make it a habit to review your airline's current guidelines before every trip. Airline policies can change frequently, and even a small adjustment might mean that what you packed last time is now a no-go. For the most reliable information, check the airline's website or use trusted travel apps like the TSA website or My TSA, which provide real-time updates on security regulations. If you're flying internationally, remember that different countries may have their own rules. A few minutes of research can save you hours of hassle at the gate, ensuring your journey starts off stress-free and on time. Conclusion: quick tips for smooth travel. So the key takeaway here? Check before you fly. Double-check your power banks, make sure your smart luggage's battery is removable, and stick to the 100-milliliter liquid rule. And check your airline's baggage policy to avoid any last-minute surprises at the gate. Remember, the last thing you want is to be that person who's stuck at security with a surprise item. So pack smart and travel stress-free. Final tip: if you're traveling internationally, always check the specific regulations of the country you're flying to. It'll save you a ton of time and headache at security. If you've ever had a funny or awkward moment at security, share it in the comments below. Let's have a laugh and help each other out. If this video helped, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss any of my travel tips and hacks. Safe travels, and I'll see you in the next video.